Welcome everyone to the Worst Fans podcast. My name is Marco and I'm here with your hosts Rhett and Buck. Say hi, guys.
What up?
Elvis is excited.
Thank you.
Is that what he did? I didn't watch the movie. Y'all are like, get some Elvis up in here. Get excited.
Yeah,
it was good.
After last week's depressing
was
episode,
great.
yeah.
Yeah.
Back it up.
Yes, so
Just back
this is
it
good.
Yeah,
up.
we need to see a good quality like written, movie
Yeah.
to like make us forget. So yeah, it was
and
great.
Elvis was very good. I enjoyed it a lot.
It was good. Very good.
Yeah, I don't know.
Even though you haven't seen it. But that wasn't one of the topics. We kind of just brought it up. Anyway, on a good note, we're gonna talk about a lot of good and bad, but mostly good. We could start off with, I forgot what we were starting off with.
All right, so we're gonna have some tidbits, and then we're gonna have our main topic, which would be Stranger Things.
Yes.
One of the news that broke out this week that has at least us talking is Taika Waititi possibly. What?
Mike
I was
Wazowski.
I was talking here.
What do you
What?
mean Mike Wazowski?
You couldn't think of his name.
You mean John Krasinski?
Okay.
Yeah, Mike.
No.
Wazowski.
That we weren't. You're skipping ahead.
All right, cool.
Oh, wait. You want to talk about that first?
We can talk about that
That's
first.
a quick one. That's a one and done.
All
Let's
right,
go.
John
All right.
Krasinski. Go ahead.
John Krasinski. All right. As we know, was cast as Reed Richards in the Multiverse of Madness, Doctor Strange, and a lot of people assumed that because he was cast there, that he's going to be going forward playing Reed Richards.
Yeah. Why would you
Well,
assume that? You don't
I
have to
believe the
assume
Blu-ray.
he's Richard Richards.
The Blu-ray came out, and there's audio commentary from Sam Raimi saying that, funny story, the president, Kevin Feige, was the one that actually cast John, and because he's such a fan favorite, everybody
Pure
wanted
fan
him to
cast.
play. Yeah, Reed Richards. That he goes, well, you know what? Since this is like a multiverse movie, we could play with that. Let's cast John as Reed, and that would be that. So now it has people confused. So thinking, well, maybe he's not going to be Reed Richards going forward in Fantastic Four. Maybe this was just fun they were having. So what do you guys think?
I think he should be Reed Richards.
I think he also should be Reed Richards. I mean, again, just because someone's in a multiverse doesn't mean they're not gonna look the same in different universes. Like a Doctor Strange, like a Wanda, they all look the same in all their universes. I think,
but some don't.
Yeah,
some don't.
like Spider-Man and Loki. I think my excuse for Loki though not looking the same in every universe, because he does have some that do look the same. I think it's because since he's adopted, the name Loki was kind of given to him by Odin, so it's kind of like whoever Odin decided to adopt got the name Loki. You know what I mean? So like, for example, alligator Loki. And Thor wanted a pet. That's why he's got the alligator. It's alligator Loki. That's just it. So I feel like that's why there's so many Lokis as people, but not necessarily biologically the same physical person Loki.
Female Loki.
Yeah, exactly. Female Loki.
So that's your theory.
That's my theory for Loki. Spider-Man, I have none. I think that was just pure fan cast, like fan service, and I'm okay with it. So, but
well, there's a different Captain Marvel too, and
again, different person, not another Carol Danvers.
Right.
It's just a different person, different Captain Marvel. You know what I mean?
Right.
Carol Danvers is probably still in that universe. She probably still looks the same. It's just not Captain Marvel.
I can't remember. Did Rambo, is that her name?
Monica Rambeau's the daughter. I forgot. No,
Rambeau.
but that's the daughter. The mother's name is something else. I forgot.
Well, she were they each co-pilots with each other, or did she have her own jet?
I think she had her own.
She had her own jet.
Yeah, I think
she wasn't Goose.
Oh.
Because I was thinking it would make sense if they were in the same one, but like one had to eject, so one was left.
Mhm.
So whoever basically was there when it exploded just got it.
No, she named her cat Goose.
All right.
Which is funny. And I didn't even think of that until probably the most recent Top Gun.
Oh, really?
I was like, holy cow, they totally ripped that, like Captain Marvel. Duh. Yeah. The backseat pilot.
Yeah.
Name Goose.
So I think seeing how probably John Krasinski as Reed Richards was the only applaudable moment in Multiverse of Madness, and people really had a positive feedback for that, I don't see a reason why they wouldn't bring him back.
Okay. What do you think, Rhett?
But will his wife play Sue Storm? Because I think that would be great.
It's another fan cast. I don't see why not.
But you think he will be cast? He will be cast in Fantastic Four.
I'd like him to. God, if they don't, it's gonna be like,
It's be like, why did you do that for? Like, why did you put him in there in the first place?
yeah, you had the perfect guy and then you dropped him.
Oh, that was. But they're saying the reason why they put him there was because it was kind of like a fun fan cast since the multiverse.
Oh, I get it.
mess
I'm
with it.
hoping that's not the case though. But you
Right.
can't even see him. What if he didn't want to do it? He's like, this is a dumb superhero. I don't want to be that
No, but
guy.
he's
But I'll do
he's
it for a
been wanting to
cameo.
do it though.
Yeah, you know, it's a big commitment because now you gotta basically do a contract for multi movies. You gotta stay in shape because you're gonna be in all these movies. So it's not
He's gonna
easy.
do that anyway.
So yeah.
Part of his roles he takes. He was in 13 Hours, was it?
Yeah, so I think he's fine for the role. I don't think they're gonna switch him out. I mean, unless he decides he doesn't want to do it. I mean, I think the most amount of hate that he's gotten as Mr. Fantastic isn't even like something that he did. I think it was just something the writers did when they said the smartest man in the world, and then he tells them how to defeat Black Bolt. I think that's the most shit he's gotten, but like that's really it. It's nothing. I still
I think that I think he'll be playing Reed Richards, and if he doesn't, I think they would. It'd be kind of a backlash then because obviously he was a fan favorite from the beginning, and now that he kind of was cast in the multiverse, and if they take that out of it, it's gonna piss fans off even more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't think it'll be a smart decision to not cast him. I think
it's not smart at all. Yeah.
So,
That would.
And I want his wife to play.
Sue Storm.
What's her
They're
name?
gonna find somebody else. It's like, anyway. All right, so that's that story.
Yeah. So John Krasinski hopefully plays Reed Richards again.
I'll take it.
Ezra Miller. No, that's not what we're talking about next.
Taika Waititi.
Oh, Taika Waititi. Thank you. Taika Waititi's Star Wars film. Buck isn't too happy about the fact that Thor: Love and Thunder is basically Ragnarok 2.
It's a rumor. It's not confirmed. It's a rumor.
Obviously not. But like you're not happy about the fact that Thor Love and Thunder is basically Thor Ragnarok on steroids, right?
I'm not the biggest Taika Waititi fan. I know a lot of people are, and I understand their obsession with him. He is a very gifted director, but I'm just not a great big fan of his.
So. And you're upset about
it's not your type of funny, you know?
Yeah, he's a comedy director. He's got clever comedy.
I get that.
He's got it right here too. I think he's got heart and comedy.
Yeah.
But whatever. We talked about that in the Marvel video.
We were worried about comedy in Star Wars, that kind of comedy in the Star Wars universe, because we didn't really see a film that could be any part of that. You know.
And let's pause right there. Then 2 years ago they announced he's doing a Star Wars movie. We all kind of went like, okay, what in the world would fit from your world in Star Wars?
Mm-hmm.
None of us thought of what we're looking at now.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then the topic.
I wasn't thinking at all. I didn't want anything.
And then the subject of Jar Jar Binks came up. Yeah. So I think
news broke that it's a rumor that Jar Jar might be the subject of the new Star Wars movie that Taika Waititi is
Jar Jar Binks
directing.
on the big screen.
Yeah.
A Star Wars story.
His own movie. A Star Wars story.
Yeah.
Jar Jar Binks. A Gungan story.
What are your thoughts?
Start with the hater. Okay, yeah.
No, you don't want to start with me.
Look, all right. I never in my life would have thought I wanted a Jar Jar movie, but when you said when Taika Waititi says, "I got an idea. I'm gonna take that terrible character. I'm gonna make him funny. I'm gonna redeem him. He's gonna be a good guy. I'm gonna get him Maud Best back. He's gonna get some street cred." And I'm thinking this is actually kind of funny because they could take it and they could go in a very here's the wacky side of Star Wars. It goes on his little journey of redeeming himself, following the prequels. I mean, it could be as cheesy as war, a lover, a fighter, like all these kinds of completely wacky things. And Taika would be the guy to take it home. Like we're thinking along the lines of Howard the Duck. Like what the heck? You got a freaking duck and Leah Thompson, kissing stuff like that's the kind of weird thing I'm looking to see. And yes, I know that's in Star Wars, but
I did like Howard the
Duck.
Duck.
Would you rather Taika Waititi direct Knights of the Republic or a Jar Jar movie? Like, which one would probably suit him better?
Probably Jar Jar movie. Absolutely.
Oh yeah. All right, go for it.
But go ahead.
You say neither?
No. Mark, what do you think? Are you excited about this?
I mean,
if this happens,
listen. I mean, what other character in Star Wars would you see Taika Waititi directing besides the character that they already introduced that people are familiar with? That's a goofy character like Jar Jar Binks. Now, in my generation, probably your guys' generation, when Phantom Menace came out, people did not like Jar Jar. They thought it was for kids. It was
No one does
horrible.
still.
Yeah, no one does. In my generation, we grew up with him as children and we thought he was funny as children.
No way.
Yes, I
Did
was.
you really?
Yes, he was a funny character. I was a kid. I was a child. I thought seeing Jar Jar on screen was funny.
I thought
Yeah, see,
even
he
children
was
would like
for kids.
It
he
was
was directed
for children,
specifically
and
for
I was a
kids.
I know, and
child.
there's kids funny out there. Like Minions are funny, Shrek is funny,
Exactly.
but like those are for kids too. You know, like there's a difference in cheeseball and like just kid
I
humor.
mean, he
like,
was just kid humor. He was just slapstick funny. That's just what he was. And
Even-
now my generation has grown to love Jar Jar Binks as a character because
crap.
of it.
No way,
I'm
really?
I'm not
I
even
didn't know-
kidding.
actually
I'm
didn't know
so
this.
serious. Like if you go people 25 and under, ask them what do they think of Jar Jar. I'm like, he's part of Star Wars. He's a character. He's funny. He brings comic relief to the
Let
movies.
me ask you something. In the Phantom Menace, who annoyed you more, Jar Jar Binks or Jake Lloyd as Anakin?
It's not a term to say
Has it changed over
annoyed.
the years?
I don't
Probably
find
no
I don't find any of them annoying. I think Anakin's cheesy. I think he's written cheesy, but I don't think either of them are annoying because that's the way Jar Jar character was written. As an adult, if I were to watch that movie for the first time,
I get Jar Jar because he's supposed to be an idiot, bumbling, annoying idiot. Jake Lloyd's Anakin's supposed to be a serious character, at least taken serious, and it wasn't the kid's fault. It was poorly directed, whatever. But
Look, I think that's equal. If that's how you're gonna say it, because I think he was supposed to be funny. I think he was supposed to be even funny for kids, but I was looking at it like, what kid would laugh at this? As a 17-year-old, at least.
as a 10-year-old, I liked it or whatever.
I
Like
still
watching
like
it as 10 years
I
old.
see the scenes, I'm just like, it's just.
I
ruining
can
this
see
movie.
little kids laughing at him.
Exactly,
I mean, I
they
didn't
laugh
laugh
at
at
it.
him. I just thought, well, this
Yeah.
characters for kids, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, clearly they took him out of the next movie, so.
Well, he was in it. He was just a senator, wasn't he? He was just like in the background.
I think funny if that movie makes me laugh enough, and I think it's hilarious. I could take stuff I remember from that and go back and watch Phantom Menace and probably go, oh man, they really ripped on that one moment in Phantom Menace by extending it to some, I don't know what,
mean,
but
as-
they could take it and pull something really funny out of it. So then when you watch Phantom Menace, you're like, you remember when that one thing happened? And that's what I don't know.
I mean,
there's got to
listen,
be so many openings.
as shitty as a character Jar Jar is, he's very memorable for the films. Like people quote him all the time. He's like the scenes that he does.
Not as a. They don't quote him to be like inspiration.
No,
They
of
quote him
course
as
not. It's a joke. It's Star Wars. I want to say they didn't poorly write the character in, but I'm saying he's a memorable character because of the character that they made. I mean, and I think Taika Waititi can really wrap that up into a nice bow and make it into a film that'll get my generation in the theaters because we like Jar Jar.
It'll get me in the theater. We're not the same generation.
Well, I'll tell you what, guys. I'll tell you my opinion on this. Okay, I think it's so sad that Star Wars has fallen down the crapshoot so far that you guys hear a Jar Jar Binks movie's being made by Taika Waititi and you guys are being excited about it.
Yeah, you're right.
It's a sad time in Star Wars. It really is because damn, I'm sorry. I get it. Taika Waititi, he's huge. People love him now. It's Jar Jar Binks. Is it really a character you want to see come to light as a main source of like a lead character in Star Wars that you think
What
his
he
character
does.
needs redemption?
He doesn't need to come
What
back.
What happened to him
But yeah,
after
he
Revenge of the
doesn't-
Sith? We don't know.
Who cares? No one cares.
It'd
No
be
one cares.
funny. It'd be so. It'd be it's almost a breath of fresh air, I think, to do something like that right now because their serious stuff looks like a comedy. Did you see Obi-Wan? I mean, it's not supposed to be cheesy, but it is. So how about let's go ahead and go full force, ridiculous Taika Waititi, and actually help out a character. That might make
I
it
get
good.
what you're saying because if Tycho does it, then this is gonna be like they know it's gonna be like outrageous, and there's no limit to what he's gonna do. He's just do whatever he wants, and it'll be as
You might have some
goofy
limit.
and
Kathleen
corny as he
Kennedy's been
wants,
known
but
to fire comedians before.
it's fine for people that like that. But for me, I mean, I'm never gonna be excited for that. I mean, like no, it's okay,
You're
sure.
Deadpool.
I mean, listen,
I
it's
don't like Deadpool.
it's
I don't hate that. I like Deadpool. Deadpool's fine for what it is.
Listen, it's not
It
solely.
didn't represent itself. It knew exactly what it was from the marketing, and we knew what Deadpool was going to be. So, I mean,
Look, solely for the Jar
I
Jar
didn't love
movie.
it. You're right. I didn't love it, but I thought it was
The
okay.
Jar Jar movie isn't just going to be solely Jar Jar Binks. There's obviously going to be secondary characters in the movie that probably will be
I
excited
didn't
for.
ever believe for a second that he was going to be like the main story.
Yeah.
Like,
So it's so again, maybe the secondary characters will help support the movie. I mean, the only other thing I really see Taika Waititi doing in Star Wars is maybe a droid movie, but that's really it. Because there are some goofy droids
there
out
needs
there.
to be a droid in there. You know what's be good is his side characters are just completely fed up with him all the time, and not like how Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan were. They need to be like, "Oh my god, you fucking idiot!" Like what? Like that's it would be. We would laugh at everyone around them, you know, having to facepalm at everything he does. That's where the funny's really going to come from. It's he. I think he's gonna be the same goofy self. He's not gonna make him cool.
No.
It's gonna be funny to make fun of Jar Jar. I think it's gonna be something more like that.
Yes.
At least that's what would be good. But anyway,
Oh.
we don't have to. I think it's a funny idea. Maybe it'll never happen, but
Maybe not.
hell, at this point, what do we? We're here for Star Wars. It's not nothing's ever going to be what it used to be in Star Wars land now. So I'm up for whatever.
Yeah, I mean, hey, if a Jar Jar Binks movie happens with Taika Waititi, I don't think it'd be the worst thing for Star Wars.
What DT?
what are you going to do?
What are you gonna do?
That's it. All right.
All right.
Let's just move it on.
Next topic: Ezra Miller. Right?
Ezra Miller.
Ezra Miller.
Better than
And
Ezra
the future
Miller.
of the DCU.
Yeah,
DCEU,
dude,
man.
they're in trouble, man. Oh my gosh. What a mess that kid is called. What has he done now, Book? What is
You know, I don't want to say this is karma facing Warner Brothers for what they did to the DCEU. I actually feel kind of bad for them. Obviously, the Flash movie was supposed to be kind of a reboot to the DCEU going forward. And, you know, you have Michael Keaton coming back as Batman and, you know, all this exciting stuff. And I feel almost as if Ezra Miller is holding this project hostage with his antics and what he's doing.
Yeah.
I mean, he's doing some crazy stuff, and like, there's no one to stop him.
Nope.
And between that and what happened with
Amber Heard.
Amber Heard.
Yeah.
I mean, they must be literally having meetings all the time discussing what are we going to do here, guys.
We need to
What are we going to do? Do we scrap this whole thing? Do we reshoot it? Do we just release it straight to streaming? What is it that we do? Because I'm sure that Flash movie, because it's connected, it basically it's going forward for the rest of the movies to have the projects to have going. Like Batgirl that's coming out on HBO Max. Michael Keaton's going to be in that as well. So that connects to what happens in the Flash, the events. So it's not just a movie it's not like just a solo movie. It's a movie that's connected. So they must be going crazy over there, the execs in Warner Brothers.
You know, because you're thinking maybe they filmed enough to go ahead and just like use them, reset them, and in that movie introduce a new Flash and continue it from there on. But even then, they're like, you know, they're gonna have to market with this guy.
Yeah.
And if between now and then he does anything further, especially something that's like crosses a major line. I mean, some of these things already have, but some people have a little more patience, I guess. If he goes a little further and they're like, now we've got to put a trailer out and this guy's face is going to be on it, they're going to really get it. Right now, not everyone in the world, I think, understands what's going on or is paying attention. But as soon as he does something like, I'm going to say, but like something terrible, yeah, it's over. What are they going to do then? They need to release it. That's what they need to do. Quit dilly dallying. They put it off again. It's like, you know what? You almost deserve what's happening, DC or Warner Brothers, for freaking delaying stuff way too long.
Yeah, I think it's hurting them now at this point because they keep delaying it, and the weeks go by, you hear more stuff about Ezra Miller doing weird stuff, which is making it worse.
Every week, every 2 weeks, a month, something new.
I don't think they could just scrap the whole thing and reshoot it. It just costs too much money.
Yeah, millions.
It'd be ridiculous at this point. I think they should just release it right now. The movies are back in business. The theaters are booming again. You know, Top Gun just made $1 billion after being out a month. It reached number 1, tied with Elvis. I mean, movies are back. So now is the time to release it. Just bite the bullet. You know, trust me, it will make money. I don't know how much money it'll make, but trust me, you have Michael Keaton come back as Batman. People are going to want to go see that.
That's what they need to feature. All that, like, forget trying to show Flash, even though the movie's called The Flash. Yeah. Maybe
They
change
had,
the name. Just
they
call
had
it
like three
Rebirth.
versions of Ezra Miller in the movie as Flash. They must be like, ugh,
They do,
what
don't
the
they? There's
hell do
like
I
one
do?
behind them. Yeah,
Ugh.
we gotta. I don't know. Has any like I don't want to admit this, but the CW stuff, y'all seen the Flash in that
Yeah.
show? I like him. I think he's a pretty
Oh
good.
yeah, he's great.
He's really good actually.
He's
Like I'm
great.
like
Yeah.
that's solid. Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
they were talking they should deep fake and put him in. But come on, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Whoever's
yeah.
in charge of casting over at Warner Brothers, I'll tell you.
Well, I mean, look, they couldn't predict this was gonna happen. I mean, who's done this in the past? No one. No one I know of has ever done this. Like basically, hold the movie hostage in a way where it's like you can't even release it because he keeps getting in trouble.
Yeah, it's bad.
Crazy.
It's gonna be like Michael Keaton Superman, or sorry, Tim Burton Superman Returns. It's never they did stuff with it. They got it moving. They're like, we can't ever release this. Just throw it in a vault.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
all right.
What's gonna happen to
Yeah,
DC
we
Universe? We don't know.
DC.
Well, time for our main topic, which is
Yes.
probably one of my favorite shows of the
Dope,
year
man.
so far. Stranger
Favorite.
Things.
Yeah.
Stranger Things season 4. Man, they really stepped it up this season. The finale is on Friday.
Yep.
The last 2 episodes, totaling up to about 4 hours of
Whoa,
watch time.
It's only 2 episodes.
It's only 2
Sorry,
episodes.
I'm uninformed. Okay.
It's only 2
I
episodes.
told you this, man.
Yeah. The first
I
episode.
told you, like it's 2 episodes.
The
One's 90 minutes, the other one's 2.5 hours.
hours.
Yeah, I remember I texted you yesterday that just those 2 episodes alone are longer than the whole Obi-Wan series.
You said those are the
Think
first
about that.
2 episodes of like the next few. Okay, well,
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's 4 hours worth of watching, so.
Yeah, 4 hours, just 2 episodes.
I'll watch the first one probably Saturday or Sunday. I might not get to it. I'll get to it before
Wednesday of
Wednesday
next
of next week, so we can talk about it again.
Yeah.
But
But
that's good. That's good.
I mean, yeah, what are your guys' thoughts of this season? I mean, just as well, since now Rhett's caught up, we can actually talk about
Yeah,
it.
sorry. Rewatched it with the kids. They'd never seen it, so they've gone in the past month. I've rewatched season 1 through 3, and then started 4 like a week and a half ago. And what a good experience! That was good.
Mm.
I remember in season 2, there was that episode where Elle is in Pittsburgh, and when it first came out back years ago, I didn't like it, and now that I've gone back and watched, I'm like, oh, nothing wrong with that episode. Perfectly fine. You know.
Yeah, when she goes back.
Yeah, I
to,
know. I remember exactly the episode you're talking about.
Yeah, when she's going to
Yeah.
see her sister or something.
Yeah, it kind of just put everything on hold because it almost felt like a filler episode.
Mhm.
It was like, hey, what's going on
I
here?
was upset. Like
And it was fine. It wasn't a bad episode. It was.
I
Yeah.
just at the time it threw me off so much. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so sorry, what did I think of it? It was great. Season 4 freaking blew me away. And I have to admit, at first it started a little slow for me, but it picked up. Especially with Max in that epic Max episode.
Oh, that
Holy
was
crap.
filmed beautifully, man. That was so
Yeah,
good.
Yeah.
And that
I
was
know, right?
that was episode 4. I mean,
Mhm.
that wasn't even like a first episode or a last episode. That was
I mean, I was sitting
In
up
the
on my
middle of the
seat. I'm
series.
just like thinking, oh my god, is she
Yeah.
gonna die? Is she gonna
And it's
like?
so
You're just
memorable.
like
Oh, yeah.
sitting up, just like eyes on the screen the whole
They
time.
start running through the memories of her and
Mhm.
showing her little clips. I'm just like, this poor little girl's about to die. Oh my god! Like
thought
that
it,
can't
yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a scary scene.
Yeah.
Hey, were your kids scared to see in season 4? Because I felt season 4 was darker than the rest.
I don't think that I'm getting the shake. They were fine with it. They occasionally covered their eyes when like the when one got his little spoiler alert.
Yeah,
when
talk
one
about
But we're already
his-
spoiling it. Yeah, that's fine.
got his little I don't know tracker out of his neck. Like they both turned for that. There might have been a few scenes like that where they did, but
Mm.
they were zero issues. Yeah. I haven't heard about any nightmares or anything. So
Oh, okay, that's good.
they did tell me about this guy in their dreams that keeps coming back.
What
Vecna?
Vecna, whatever. Vecna.
Oh man, Vecna, man,
Yeah.
they actually wrote Vecna really well. Like I
Great villain.
going into the show, I'm just like, okay, it's another threat from the Upside Down. You know, I didn't even think a second thought because there's always something else they fight every season from the Upside Down. I'm like, okay, this was a little more advanced. Maybe he's the leader. You know, it's just like, what's going on? Come to find out, you know, Nancy's lead actually led to something. Her trail, and then seeing all those flashbacks. I want you guys to tell me, did you think that person who was helping Elle the whole time in the past, did you think that was one, like from the start?
Not immediately.
Not immediately, no. Towards the end, I started get like, especially, yeah. I kind of got it like, I would say like an episode before in, but the way it was so put together, it was so beautifully like connected that it was like, wow, that's just great writing there. It was just like that was beautiful. I love it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I
Very,
expected
really
him to be one after a couple of times of him interacting with
Yeah.
Elle. I don't know what ticked it, but it was something that said, okay, this guy has to be one.
Special, yeah.
But then, man, when they showed that he was Vecna, it was just like, what? It was just like that was.
And I don't know. I don't know if
crazy.
you've seen like some of the clips from like season one. He was in season one when Will. You saw his figure there, so he's been there all along.
You hear the clock in the background in every season.
You hear the clock in the background. There's a part where he's crossing the street in the bike, and you see Vecna's form. It's right there. It's him. You know. Yeah. Well, yeah, you weren't looking for it because you were watching it, not expecting.
People
so you probably
back
didn't
then,
notice.
people were like, "Okay, it's a Demogorgon," you know. But
Yeah, I didn't
no,
notice
it
at first either until I saw the clip.
Yeah, if you
Yeah.
look back at it, it's Vecna.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, so he's
That's
he's
awesome.
been a thought like the whole time. I'm just like, wow, that's insane. They took 4 seasons to actually release this. That's like to show that he was the
Whether
villain.
they added it in later or not, it connected very well. So it worked.
They
You
came
know,
up
so
with
it
that
was
idea
great.
later and said, "We'll use that." Yeah.
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 It's kind of like
So-
Captain. It's like Rex being in Return of the Jedi. We're like, hey,
Yeah.
you that old guy with the mustache? That's totally Rex.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
Oh man, God, that show was good though. Like that song, and the kids and I, it was in our head for like a day. Max's song, and
Yeah.
we thought about it. It's like I bet everyone's downloading the song. We're like, what was it even called? We started looking up. It's like, do you remember the line? And we find it. I look it up in like Apple Music, and it was like trending like halfway through,
Yeah.
like one of the top songs. Like,
It's
yeah,
all
that
over
makes sense.
TikTok and
Well, I think the name of the Kate Bush, right? That's the name of the. All right. Funny story is that song came out in the '80s, right? So I never heard the song before. I don't think I've ever heard it. Maybe I've heard it once. I never paid attention to it. But she owns the rights completely to that song, and they jumped up the charts #1. So she's like making that money all of a sudden. Like,
Maybe I'm buying a new house.
yeah, like can you imagine? Like,
Good for Kate
what?
Bush. Is it kind
That's
of like
awesome.
Rick Astley when Never Gonna Give You Up started
Yeah.
becoming a meme? And he's like,
Yeah.
why is my money getting
Yeah.
bigger?
Also, that's one song from Moon Knight, the Moon Knight theme. The every day I
Never
wake
watched
up. You haven't watched Moon Knight?
Haven't seen a single episode. Nope. I'll get on.
What? Okay, we'll talk about that.
Wait,
later.
what are you talking about? I'm lost now.
He has
What were you saying?
the theme song to Moon Knight. Every day I wake
Oh,
up.
yeah.
That song
He
also
hasn't seen it.
charted.
That's right, he hasn't
I'm
seen it,
surprised he
yeah.
hasn't seen Moon Knight. Wow, okay.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
Well, anyway,
Someday. So back to Stranger
back to Stranger Things.
Man, that episode where she's in her head and she starts floating. It's just like, especially the second she starts floating, it's like, no, it's about to happen. Like I got so into that.
Yeah.
That was so good. Other moments. There's another one I was about to mention. I can't think of it.
Hopper.
Oh, yeah. He had
Yeah.
a battle. That was pretty cool. He looked
That was
cool,
a good storyline they had.
That whole
in there
arc
too.
with rescuing Hopper was fantastic.
Yeah, that was great. Yeah.
What did you think of everybody kind of being split apart on this one? Like before, it's always everyone's in Hawkins, but they put Elle and John and Will over in California, and I guess they started Joyce out over there too.
I personally liked it
Yeah.
because it gave everyone kind of their way to shine, their own little story arc,
Yeah,
and they were all interesting. Yeah, I mean, I think one was probably more interesting than the other, but they were still very all watchable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even the new characters in this season, like because sometimes you add new characters this late in the game, it's like, why? Why do you even care? No, they're written so good that you actually end up, man, this is a damn good character,
Yeah.
man. I like this.
Yeah, he was great.
Yeah, so I'm telling you, yeah.
And it's funny too how after one season, the people who were introduced the last time almost feel like they've always been there. Like Maya Hawke just
Yeah.
goes so well with everybody else.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, man, you must have been here from the beginning. It's like, nope, just started last season. What's up?
Dude, and she's such an example of a person that looks just like the perfect combination of their mom and dad.
Yeah.
It's freaky. I mean, there's moments where she's like staring, and I'm like, oh my god, that's your mom. She looks just like her mom. It's crazy. Yeah.
And
If they were ever to
speaking
do
of
a
you-
Kill Bill, like like a second Kill Bill, she could like definitely play
Her daughter.
like her daughter.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
yeah.
shit, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
that-
Well, it's her
Yeah.
daughter anyway, but yeah, she looks just like her.
Yeah,
It's
he does.
crazy.
She
Yeah,
does.
But
So one, I guess you asked, at what point did you start thinking he was one? Um, it, there were moments of one, but then it wasn't up until that last episode where it was like, this guy is gonna be the bad guy. Watch. But what actually the theory I shared with the kids at one point, and I was way late, so I kept away from spoilers. But when they did show the eyes go back, like when he was killing everybody, and the last final thing was when the eyes get
Yeah.
stuck back in the head. And then there was one episode where they did previously on, and it showed Elle in season 1, and she killed like the blonde lady in the high school hallway and the 2 Marines.
Yeah.
And they did the same move, and I was like, that was the same move, wasn't it? I was like, that was a very Elle-like move. And I was thinking, okay, she lost her powers this last time, and I'm thinking perhaps some entity in the Upside Down actually got those powers and has basically been using Elle powers.
Mhm.
So that kind of stuck with me the whole time. And then when they revealed it's one, it's like, well, of course it's the same powers then. So while I was off on my theory, it kind of like felt good to like, okay, at least you recognized the Elle powers. I don't know what you want to call them, the force.
The Force.
So.
Okay.
Yeah, the kids have really lately been doing a lot of this, and it's not just because of I mean, there's been Obi-Wan lately where that's happening.
Chris Pratt.
In Jurassic World, the Raptor trainer, they're like, are you a Raptor trainer right now? Or are you 11 or are you using the Force? And like all you have to do is throw your hand
I'll
up.
just do that.
Right?
yeah, it'd be specific because it could be from anywhere.
Yeah, we do that with our dog now. We're just like, yeah. So great show.
Yeah. What are our thoughts for the finale?
For the next, what's coming up?
Mm-hmm. Last 2 episodes.
Nancy.
I have a couple of theories. I don't know if they're gonna pan out.
I don't want to hear.
I don't think it matters because I mean I think it's gonna be great anyway, no matter how it turns out. I mean, sure they're gonna do it well as far as, but I have a feeling for me. This is of course it's just theories. I think Mike is gonna die.
Really? That's a new one I haven't heard.
Mike's gonna die because Elle loves Mike, right? Who else loves Mike in there?
Nancy.
Will obviously has some feelings towards Mike, whether it's his best friend or whatever. It's not really clear, but you kind of tell whatever.
You can tell.
And he's always been you can tell he's jealous of the relationship between him and Elle because he's kind of left out.
Yeah.
I can just see something happening where Mike is one of the characters that dies and Will turns bad. Because he's been neglected. You can tell he's been neglected. He's been, he turns bad and he turns against Elle, and that's going to be leading on to the next season.
Interesting.
And he's going to be like part of he's going to be either with Vecna or whatever. Remember, he was kidnapped in season 1. In season 2, again, he was being called upon. So there's something with Will that they're not really touching upon. So
Right.
I think he's still there. So I think my theory, I think Mike's going to die. Yeah.
I think Joe Keery's character, what's his name?
Who?
The guy who worked at Scoops. Oh my god, I'm drawing a blank. Steve Harrington. Thank you. I think he's gonna die.
You think Steve's gonna die?
I think Steve's gonna die simply because
he's a popular
he's
character.
A very
man.
popular character, but when has that ever mattered in shows? Popular characters die all the time.
No, you're right.
I mean, he got attacked. Obviously, he's not healed, so obviously, I think that's gonna get worse, and I think he probably will die. Something around that, leading because of that, and then Nancy's gonna probably share her feelings to Steve, probably in the last episode, because she's always been back and forth with Steve and Jonathan. So I feel like that's also gonna.
Well, happen. I think my other theory, I think Jonathan's also gonna die too. But
Jesus, everyone's gonna die in your. I haven't even thought about who's dying, except for Nancy, and I think she will not die.
Nancy, it's another possibility for me too. Yeah,
but Reese said my son said that he thought he saw her in the preview, and I was like, oh, I don't remember if I did or not.
I haven't seen the preview for the finale, so I don't know.
I've seen a little bit. Yeah, I didn't want to see much because I kind of just want to go in there.
Yeah, I'm waiting for Friday anyway. I don't want to see anything spoiled.
Yeah, Friday's almost here. So
there's another interesting theory. The new character Eddie. People think that Eddie is number 10.
Really?
Yes, because when he
I
was
haven't heard this
when he
theory.
was talking to Chrissy, in the before she died, obviously, and they were having this little interaction in the park. She's like, "Oh, last time you saw me, I had a shaved head, buzzed head." So people were saying that it's because from the lab they buzz their heads. Also, when he kind of shows his wrists are always covered with bracelets. People are really stretching this theory that he's number 10, that he survived. So it's a possibility. Would they do it? I don't know. Why else would they throw in a new character if he didn't have a purpose? But again, they wrote him in really well. So yeah, I just don't know. I don't know what to think. Also, at some point, he's gonna be playing guitar.
Yeah, that I did see.
Yeah, so because
yeah, but here's another one that they speculate he's gonna die too.
I don't think he's gonna die. They just brought him in, and people
already
love him.
Yeah, but he's not really like an established character as far as the other ones are. So if they're gonna kill someone off, he could be the easiest one to kill.
It wouldn't be that emotional though. I feel like they would kill someone that's more emotional. They gotta bring emotion.
I think it'd be a little bit just to get you going. It's like the shock, jump scare death. That's like, oh my god, I didn't know that was gonna happen right away. And then they'll lead up to a bigger, more sensitive, emotional, like holy cow.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want us to sit here and this is what happens. We sit here and who's gonna die? Play that game. And it's like maybe no one really dies. Maybe it's just like sometimes people get disappointed when we all think who's gonna be the this, and it's like it never even happens.
I think
could just be.
Sorry, go on.
Go ahead.
They might not die, but the thing is, the way this is kind of like being set up, it feels like this is the end game of Stranger Things. Like this is like,
sure,
it's pretty big.
Yeah.
So I don't know where season 5 is going to lead to after this, because this feels almost like this is like
should be the last. Yeah.
But
kind of agree. Well, that's actually a good conversation for when we do the next one, and we have seen 4 part 2. We're like, okay, where could they go after this? Because I never would have guessed this story that they've gone to this time. 3 almost, season 3. Now that we're talking about it, it almost felt like a bit of an extension of 2 to me. Like the Mind Flayer got a physical form.
Yeah, it was the Mind Flayer continuation. Yeah.
4, I was like, for season 4, I was actually starting to think they're probably going to be scraping the bottom of the barrel at this point, and not at all.
I mean, that's what I thought too. Honestly,
they peaked. Like I think this was better than any of them. Like it was
fantastic.
Yeah.
I wasn't even excited. Here's the thing: when it was premiering, I was happy to finally see it coming back.
Obi-Wan.
Right, but we were all into Obi-Wan, right? So I was like, okay, yeah, this is gonna be fun too. But as I'm watching the first episode, it's kind of boring to me. I was like, man, I don't know if I'm into this show anymore. I think that it's been a couple of years. I'm just not that into it. But then when the first episode ends, and you see, the girl, the cheerleader, just floating in the air, and the way she died, I was like, holy crap, what the hell was that? So right there, then you just hooked.
It hooked you, yeah.
God. They're going the Freddy Krueger route this season. This is awesome.
Like, all right, so actually the first 2 episodes, I may have written you one point, and I was like, it's okay so far. Because I was almost like, I feel like they're riffing a little hard on Freddy Krueger stuff. I was like, this is really derived.
But every season has a theme. They riff on something. Yeah. So
I thought that for a minute, and then I was like, as long as this ties into real Stranger Things, the Upside Down, and then as soon as it started, I was like, they did it. They managed to take something new and bring it with the old, and we got the best juxtaposition of, nostalgia meets what we know in the Upside Down. I was like, holy crap, this is the best show ever. It's so good. Not disappointed yet with this show.
Yeah, not at all.
No.
It's fantastic. Another theory that people have about it, the reason why Eddie is going to be playing guitar. So this thing with Vecna is that the only way people can escape him is through music. So Eddie's probably going to play a song for either Mike or Dustin, who might be in the possibility of dying to Vecna, and then they might be able to escape, because Mike and Dustin are the ones who really know Eddie, so they probably like his music if they've seen him play. So he'd probably be the one to.
He's going to play "Separate Ways" by Journey. I can see it. Watch. He's totally going to play that. He's totally going to play that, because it's in the trailer in the first one. So he's going to play that. Watch.
I can see that.
Yeah.
This is a weird thing I haven't thought about in a minute, but remember the girl that Elle smashed the skate into?
Yes. Yeah.
Like, God, that was
brutal.
Vicious.
Oh,
like when
brutal.
she did it, I was like, when you saw her face and the girl sits up, I was like, "That felt so
Like
real."
that's gonna
Like,
be
that looks
hard.
like exactly like how it would have gone down in
Yeah.
real life.
Yeah.
But
And just everyone's
she
looking
so
at Elle
deserved
like,
it. I'm
"You
sorry.
psycho, get out of here." God, that was crazy. Of course, she was a mean. I don't wanna say she deserved it maybe, but she was
Yeah, screw
mean.
her. I'm
Like,
sorry.
Yeah, there's
she
good
said just like
representation of
how
how
they are back
bullies used to be back in the 80s and even 90s.
Yeah.
the portrayal of
Before this whole social media bullying. This was it was different.
I
It was
real
felt
not,
bullying,
real
yeah.
cringe when
yeah,
Elle was like surrounded by all of her classmates outside, and then she does like the thing and screams. I'm just like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah. I know. I'm
this is
like,
so rough.
I'm so
Yeah,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
Yeah,
I know. Uh, but the other part that was a little like while the smash was real, like all the other I don't remember a lot of like dudes picking on girls back in the day, I guess. Like the guy came up and threw a milkshake on her. It's like, did that I mean, I
yeah.
don't I don't know. Like I could see girls mess with girls and dudes, beating up on other dudes, but like it was rare that it was a guy would pick on a girl. I mean, I guess those jerks are
It
out there,
did.
but
It did happen. I don't know. Like it depends where you're from, I guess. But yeah, I was when I was younger. I saw messed up stuff like that. Yeah, all the time.
geez,
Hmm.
Yeah.
maybe. Yeah. The 80s.
Um, the
86. They're
80s.
getting up there. I wonder. Oh, so when do you think season 5 will even happen? Like, I'm actually hoping it's at this point. I don't want to wait 3 years, but I think in the timeline, it should stretch all the way to like 89 just to finish still in the 80s, but the very end of the 80s, Because the whole thing started in the early 80s. So the show, I mean,
I hear there is gonna be a time jump.
it,
Mm.
it
Yeah,
kind of needs to be because everyone
it needs
keeps
to be.
growing. I'm
Well, the
glad they're
kid,
not
yeah, the
saying that
kids are supposed
well,
to be like 14, 13, and they're 18 now, like in real life.
Yeah,
So
you
it,
can
it doesn't
tell they
make
just like
yeah. So the show does have a time like issue where the kids again. It's only been a couple of years since the first season
Mhm.
in their time. So
And Will's
yeah,
voice
it
like,
needs
"Hey
it needs a
guys, how
time
you
jump.
doing? Hey, how's everyone going?"
Yeah,
I
I
think that
wouldn't be
would make sense.
surprised if it takes place in the 90s. They're a little older now, and they're
Yeah.
probably like yeah,
I
possible.
thought that same thing, but I'd rather it stay in the 80s just to say the whole thing took place in the 80s. I don't know. It's just a personal little
No,
thing.
I understand. Yeah, yeah, I can see
Because
that point.
86 is where it took place now. So 3 years from now, they'd be 17 in the story, probably like 20, 21 in real life. I
Yeah,
guess.
if they could like corner to like 89, just keep it in the 80s. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
exactly. And then
Yeah,
the story in the 80s, that'd be great.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not bad. I mean, the only one who really didn't look different was Dustin. That's it.
Dustin looks the same.
Dustin
He looks a
looks
little different.
exactly
I
the
thought he
same.
aged. Yeah,
Yeah.
he looked
Everyone else looks like they aged like twice
even
over than
Nancy
Dustin.
started to look like aged. Like I'm not saying in a totally negative way, but it's like she definitely had a
You know what?
different look.
I don't know. She just looks like really skinny. Like
Yeah,
her,
my
it
mom
almost
said
looks
that
like
too,
her.
actually. It's like
Sometimes
she's
I
too
look at her face.
skinny.
Sometimes it almost looks so like sucked in that I don't know if it makes her look older. I don't know, but there's times where I see her where she looks okay, and there's times where she does look older than she really is
That
playing.
hair, they gave her a hairstyle that was
Her hair
very
too.
cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And then Mike and Nancy's mom, her blonde perm she got was like, yeah, oh, like where did they come
That
from?
was style though. That's how
Yeah.
they did it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Mm. Oh, you know who else did
Um,
good? Billy. Even this season, the scene that he had with his
yeah,
sister
he did have a cameo.
and the gravy, the little cameo he had, that was a good scene.
Nah.
Yeah.
There's just
Becky's world is
so many
scary.
memorable moments in this season already, and it's not even done yet.
Yeah.
So
It's a great show
yeah,
since the very beginning. I loved it. I got when I first discovered it, right when it came out. It was everything that we loved in the '80s growing up. Especially me and Rhett. Anything from the Goonies, E.T. It had such a mixture like a perfect blend of how movies used to be made, and it was perfect. It convinced me so well. Like this was like in the '80s. It felt like it was in the '80s. It was great.
I'm pretty sure it
So
sparked a lot of my generation enjoying Dungeons and Dragons too. Like like everyone
yeah,
really
bro.
got into it when Stranger Things came out because like, oh, we should all play it. Like they just
I can
did
see
that.
that. Speaking of that, I just bought Demio because it was on sale.
Oh, nice. It's a good one.
Yeah. It's like a VR D&D
Mm-hmm.
book, just FYI. I haven't tried it yet, but my other buddy's been I knew about it before he did, but he ended up playing it and is a master at it now, and I was like, I need to check that out.
It's fun. I played it with my friends too.
Yeah. All right, we'll get on to you. We got to do a gaming podcast someday. We keep
Yes,
talking about this.
one day
Yeah.
we'll do a gaming
I keep
podcast.
saying it.
Next week we got to talk about the finale of Stranger Things. That's just what's gonna happen.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely. And then after that, it's gonna be Thor: Love and Thunder. So
Thor: Love and Thunder, Bucks.
best movie of the year,
You know,
right?
I
Buck?
gotta, Marco, who you going with Gabby, right?
Yeah.
Can I tag along? Because I don't know who to see this with. I'm like,
I'm going with 8 of my friends, so it's like an opening night type deal.
is there? When are you going? Thursday? Thursday
We'll be
opening night?
going.
I don't know. I have to ask my friend.
Does it come out Thursday or Friday?
It comes out Thursday
Well,
night.
It's not Thursday,
Oh,
I'm sure.
Like midnight Thursday though.
No, you can
No.
get tickets
Or
early,
like
like
at 6 or 7?
6 or 7.
So you
I have
can
work
go
that day,
early.
so I don't know if I'm
On your
gonna watch it
birthday.
on Thursday. I think he got it for Saturday. But I don't know.
So it's funny. It's Mia's birthday on the 7th. So
Oh, nice.
we
I think I'm
may
gonna go by
find
myself.
some tickets late at night. That'd be awesome. That'd be the coolest.
I wish I just go with somebody so I could just like
Let's go with her dad.
See
I
the
have-
reaction.
you have to like see this movie by myself and bear the because I really don't want to see it, but I have to see it. So
Yeah, I really think because I love Ragnarok so much, I already know I'm going to be disappointed with this movie because I think
What?
from the last previews and teasers I've seen,
I'm pretty sure
I
you're
can
gonna
tell
like
they amped up the silliness.
You're gonna-
not the comedy. I'm calling it like the it looks way sillier than it used
Remember,
to.
Marvel
I
doesn't
like-
always include everything in the trailers.
You know-
So,
You know what? I'm sorry. I don't mean to like interrupt. But just going right back to Stranger Things.
oh yeah.
Because we're speaking of comedy, right? And tell me the one character that gets on my nerves in Stranger Things that I'm not too crazy
Oh,
about.
Argyle.
I don't know his name. Is that the
It's a
stoner?
little
Stoner.
much.
Yes.
He goes over the top at times. Right?
I
I'm
think
like,
he's
okay, this is
hilarious.
stupid. He's
He started
funny
out annoying
in parts, but then he goes over the top. Like,
I saw
Stop.
an interview with him, and he's literally the same. Like he doesn't act.
no, he is.
He's
He
the
is. I've seen him.
same
Do you
exact
remember
character.
is it the other guys with Mark Wahlberg
Yeah.
and Will Ferrell? Yeah, that scene where he's like, they're in the house with I think was it Will Ferrell's ex girlfriend or Mark
Oh, I
Wahlberg's
don't-
girlfriend,
I
and
don't
he's the new husband.
Oh, okay.
And he's like, it's Lilith, you idiot! You're in my house. You get my wife's name right. He's just like that. It's the same character. It's the same character.
It's funny.
First, I didn't like him actually. I was kind of annoyed that this guy was there, but he grew on me. I guess the scene where he's like, "Oh man, what's going on? Drive!" Like, why is that guy got a gun? Drive!
Yeah.
that sold it for me. I was like, from then on, I liked him. Yeah, my kids liked him. They thought he was
I
good.
think like the part that got me was, again, a little over the top was when they were in the plane and he was telling one of the writer that, I know karate, but I only taught like 13-year-olds.
You're
And
talking about the same character.
You're talking about the wrong character, my friend.
I'm talking about the stoner.
talking about the
kid. I kept saying
stoner.
the stoner, and y'all were like,
no,
"No."
I like
Yeah.
him. He's fine. No, I'm talking about the guy with the glasses that him. Yeah.
Oh,
I didn't know his name.
What's his name?
Yeah. That's what I thought you were talking
No,
about.
Argyle, dude.
Jesus, I was just telling you the whole story about the other guys that this guy was in, and you were
I'm
like, "Oh yeah."
I don't remember the other guys. That's why I thought I was just letting you go.
No, not Yuri. That's
No,
an
no.
actual Russian.
That guy's funny, Buck. What are you talking about?
Like he's over the
What
top.
was
It's
his
a little
name?
much.
I
It's
forgot
a
his
little
name,
much.
but yeah, the guy who
Yeah.
speaks Russian, right? The guy on the plane.
No, not the guy who speaks
He
Russian.
does speak
Yeah, well,
Russian.
he has glasses. Remember, he was in
This is
season 3.
2.
Yeah,
Season three.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. He speaks.
What's his character
He's
name?
season 2 also. That's right.
I forgot.
He's
I
in
forgot
season
his
2.
character's name.
I
forgot
was
his
told
name.
his name is Murray.
Murray.
Is that correct?
Yes, his name is
Murray,
Murray.
yeah.
Good job.
That's it.
I was like, it rhymes with Yuri. It couldn't be that.
Yeah, it's Murray. Yeah.
Again, he's funny, but there's just times where he's over the top.
He's
at
a
times.
conspiracy theorist, paranoid
I
person.
know,
It makes
but
sense.
it just comes off a little corny. He's a black belt. He taught kids, and then he's all like, "Oh my god."
That was funny. I don't care what you say. That was
It was
funny.
okay. It
I
didn't,
had no issues with him.
it didn't ruin it for me. I'm just saying, like his part was a little like a. little
Honestly, if
cringy.
it wasn't for him, Hopper would still be in there.
No, I'm not saying what he did was bad. I'm saying he needs to tone it down a little bit. It goes a little over the top sometimes. That's all.
Nah,
That's it.
I like him just the way
you're
he
like,
is.
okay, I'll go back. You know what? Let's get into this. All right, because you know me. Some things that the show isn't perfect. It's great. It's really really great. But there's some parts where it just like
I think it's almost a perfect show, but go ahead.
no, it is. No. I'm not talking about this season. Season 3,
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Never Ending Story. That
It
is.
was epic.
When they were singing together, it was a little like cringe. It was like,
I thought it was perfect.
That was amazing.
I
I didn't
loved it.
cringe. I was like,
Crazy,
I
man.
said,
You know,
nailed it.
I was like,
I was
oh
stuck in
my
my head for a
god.
week, bro. I was never ending.
I love the song. I love a never ending story, but it just felt a little like on the nose.
You're crazy, bro. That
It
was
totally fit.
that
Yeah.
was awesome.
Look, it was again, it didn't ruin like the season. I just thought that part was a little cringe. That's all.
I thought it was
I did
funny as
not
hell because
cringe.
it was them singing, and then it would pan out to scenes of everyone else just hearing them sing,
Like,
just like
That was funny, but you know, Dustin and his girlfriend singing it was okay, sure. It was
no,
fine.
that was wonderful.
That
Like,
was
because
quite
they are
wonderful.
cringe. They're nerdy as can be. They're like
Yes,
the nerdiest
I
kids
know,
there are.
I know, I
And
know,
they,
I know.
you could see him because he was a little theater. Like the actor in real life, I'm pretty sure is a theater actor, right? The guy who plays Dustin.
Dustin. I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe I imagined that, but you could see it in him singing. Like he was very Broadway
Mhm.
with that. So yeah,
So was she?
I don't know about her. She was good too.
Yeah,
She
Susie.
was goofy. Yeah.
Susie.
I don't know. I know. I'm just busting chops. Yeah, I'm reaching a little bit, but I was just saying. You know, I mean, the show's so great that I just want to point out just little things that. Okay. I mean,
Sound
look,
personal.
and I'm reaching really. I mean, because the show's amazing. It's amazing.
It sounds like your personal subjective, and I'm not criticizing you. You're right to have that. It's just I could tell that those are things you're not big on cringe, corny, like
Yeah.
anything that's like the slightest bit uncool. It makes you kind of like, I don't know
Yeah,
if I
yeah,
can
yeah.
get that right now. You know?
And with this show, I have to go like really deep because there's not much that I mean. This show is amazing. Now
See?
I could say a lot of things about about a show that I recently saw that bugged the shit out of me.
Obi-Wan.
So yeah,
Oh,
of course.
no, we already did
but
that.
the comparison between
There's
this,
a whole hour and 45 minutes before
Yeah.
this that you
Yeah.
can watch.
Go
Go
watch
hear
it.
about that.
yeah.
An hour and 45 minutes we ranted about that thing. And we forgot to give it the suits. I thought about that later. It's like, we didn't give it the suits. That was totally a 10 suit situation right there. You know, every
Tell you
business
something,
head was involved with that.
it's been a week after. It's been a week, right, since the show like ended, and it still bugs the hell out of me. I'm still thinking about it, and it still bothers me.
So the inverse of that, I think I told you guys already. I watched it last night. My parents are in town visiting, and so caught up with it. And my dad and I saw. I hadn't seen it since a week before when it came out, and I enjoyed it again. You know, maybe more than I did the first time. And I said, you know, if I really could do it, I would just take the first episode and the last because I don't think there's even enough in the middle to make it anything. You don't even need the second episode. She gets kidnapped. By the time the next one comes around, Obi-Wan saves her. Right? He leaves, and then he's on his way back when the episode starts. At the end of the first episode, he's leaving to go get her. Comes back with her. You can tell they made a bond. They just didn't show that on screen. And I enjoy if you could put those two together and make it like a modest movie length. It's like that's probably the best way I should watch that show again. I don't think I ever need to watch episodes 2 through 5 again. You know, maybe
I saw
the
whole
end of
season
5.
over
where-
again.
I-
I saw the whole thing over again, and
Yeah.
it was worse the second time around. So.
The whole thing, no.
The whole thing.
Anyway,
but
that's
I agree with you. Yeah, let's not talk about too much about this. But yeah,
Yeah.
the first episode and the last episode were the only really good episodes. The rest were trash.
Yeah.
I only think
They
a
had
couple of
moments in them that
scenes were good. I don't even think full episodes were good.
You're right. I don't think not one episode you could say was perfect. No, there were like two of them that were good. They were good. They weren't great. That's sad.
I think I gave the first one, and the last one, an 8 on our little podcast.
Actually, I gave the first one a 9, and that's actually a little kind of high. But and then the last one I gave a
Pretty high.
7. So
The highest rating I
Alright.
gave was an 8 for the first episode. That was the only one that gave an 8.
all right. They don't want to hear our boring thoughts of Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan again.
Scrap
Yeah.
Obi-Wan. We're done with that shit.
We're gonna start losing subscribers again. Damn it.
Yeah, I know.
So, you know, something about Stranger Things I'm a little surprised I haven't seen a lot of is like tie-in things. Like Netflix is big on doing animated stuff, really good animated stuff like Castlevania, the He-Man show,
Yeah.
the second part of it at least. Good animated stuff. And I'm actually surprised we haven't seen a Netflix Stranger Things animated show yet, you know? That would
Yeah.
be really cool to me.
Yeah.
Like especially something to hold me over. Oh, and I forgot they did the Witcher one.
Yeah.
But something to hold me over until the next one, because they've got probably 2 to 3 years before we're getting something else. Man, just right in the middle of that, drop
That'd be cool.
a 6 episode
Yeah.
show or a movie length anime.
I know they
the
did
same
that.
studio.
They did that with The Boys on Amazon.
Boys.
Yeah, there's
Yeah, I never saw that. I never saw
Diabolical.
that.
It's actually really good. It was
It's
different
good.
art styles. So there was an episode made by people who made Rick and Morty. A lot of good stuff. I liked it.
Cool.
Yeah, that's something else.
Yeah,
Also
you have to
video.
watch.
Yeah, I know. I need to.
Oh,
watch
there's a Stranger Things video game.
but not much.
There's like three. There's like
there is
it's like
that
a
one.
3-chapter.
Well, you know,
slash
I
story.
think the writers are very concentrated on their story and not giving away spoilers. So I think they're just hanging really tight with what they have.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we just figured out right now with the last episode that we just saw with season 4 that Elle was basically responsible for the Upside Down. I mean, she created it.
He made the
Basically,
gate, the portal. Yeah.
she opened the gate. I mean, her and Vecna created the Upside Down, and that's huge.
That's interesting.
Wow.
Do
That was awesome.
you think she created it, or it was already there and she kind of just opened the gate?
Oh, the way it was shot, it made me feel that they
She
both
made-
created it, and he's basically like the gatekeeper of it. He's like
I think it's like the dimension existed, but they never connected until Elle opened the portal between the two. That's what it
Yeah.
seemed like to me. You know, she didn't create the Upside Down. She created the gateway to
yeah.
get there.
I mean, yeah, you can look at it that way, I guess. I mean, we won't really know for sure until they explain it better. But
Yeah, just based on the fact that the old science teacher used to talk about, alternate dimensions and gateways to get there.
Yeah.
I think that was the thought that it's been there. Even Dustin was saying, like, the Upside Down must have been there for millions of years at this point. It's just we found a way into it, and Elle was that way. And I want to know how the Russians got involved with it, how they realized, hey, this portal exists, but in the end, we're trying to find a way for us, Soviets to get in the United States. I think that was the whole point of them getting there, right? It's like, we want a portal to US so we can take over.
Yeah.
They came across it. I want to know, how did they do that? Like, I hope they answer that. But I was talking about games. There's that one that came out for, I guess, like everything, but Stranger Things season 3 had a tie-in pixel art video game, right? Do you remember that?
I remember that. It was
bought it
free
on
for
Switch.
Epic Games a couple times.
Oh, okay. Man, I thought it was. I was looking for it the other day. I had bought it on Switch digitally, so I've got it at least. But check this out. The kids got into the show, and I was like, guess what? There's a Stranger Things video game. We go look it up. They took it off this digital store last year, 2021.
Oh, wow.
You can't get that game anymore.
Really?
You can't get it on
Really?
Steam anymore. You can't get it on it is gone. They removed it, and I looked it up. It says, yep, publisher, by request of the publisher, we've removed this from our store. So I was like, was there ever a physical copy? This thing's hard to get now. There actually was, because Limited Run made a physical copy. If you want to go get it, it's like $200 on eBay.
Wow.
Seriously.
That's
I was
crazy.
like, glad I got the digital. Like I just said, here, you have to play off of my Switch, but here, go for it. So
That's
Reese
crazy.
has been playing through. And funny, check this out. So I was like, there's another Stranger Things thing I happened to get, which started by you, which was Dead by Daylight, had a
Oh yeah.
DLC for Stranger
Yeah,
Things.
that's right. I
Which-
have it. Yeah.
You have it. Okay, well, good for
Yeah.
you, because guess what? They took that off the store too around the same time. You can't buy that anymore. If you've got it, you have it. Like, I just played it the other day, and I was the Demogorgon, Steve, and Nancy.
Wow.
Yeah, I have Steve. Yeah, Steve and Nancy are the characters. I always play Steve. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. And
Wow.
but that's gone now. So I'm like, why did they take away all the games? Like, there was only apparently the real game and then like the little tie.
Something happened there. I don't know.
Something happened, right?
You know why they took it away? Because Steve and Nancy are gonna die. That's why they took it away.
That makes sense. 100%.
Who are these characters? Yeah.
That's just good writing.
That's planning ahead.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
I think
Anyway, I want more Stranger Things video games. I'm a little ticked. There's not one. Like, the kids and I sat and talked about it. Like, that show is so good right now. If they had a tie-in game, whether it was good or not, it would do well, and
Yeah.
it would just be fun, So anyway, yeah, I know it's getting late.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we said we could wrap this up. I mean, I think we've talked enough Stranger Things. I mean, mostly positive things. I mean, fantastic. Almost everything was positive about the last season. We all loved it. We can't wait for the finale on Friday. We can't wait to talk about it. A lot of expectations, a lot of theories.
Yeah, very few like series could actually, or shows could actually keep up the kind of quality, especially going into like a season 4, and it could still be like, wow, this is like the best season we've seen so far. I mean, that's great.
Yeah, it's very impressive. I mean, the writers are just on point. Well, I think that is it for tonight's podcast. Thank you everyone for watching, and we'll see you guys next time. Adios.